Twickenham Stadium, the home of England Rugby. In 1907, the RFU purchased 10¼ acres of land in the heart of Twickenham, which would soon become the home of England Rugby. Originally a market garden, the stadium has recently been renamed. Twickenham Stadium is the world's largest rugby union stadium, the second largest stadium in the United Kingdom behind Wembley Stadium, and the fourth largest in Europe. It is the home of the English Rugby Union team, who play nearly all their home games at the stadium. Twickenham Stadium has gone through a number of redevelopments. I really enjoyed my visit to the stadium, and it was really worth going on the guided tour. It was really informative and enjoyable. The Twickenham Stadium holds a lot of memories for me. I remember going there with my parents when I was younger, and it has changed a lot. I've always enjoyed photography. I hope this shows in the video. I've tried to capture, to the best of my ability, what it's like to be at the stadium and the history of the stadium. There's also at the end of the video there's a section of the museum. The entrance to the museum was through the England Rugby store. If you visit the stadium, I recommend going on the guided tour. It's very informative and enjoyable. The 27-foot tall bronze sculpture, created by pop artist and sculptor Gerald Lang, it weighs in at 5 tons. These are the views of outside the stadium. You're about to see 4 bronze statues at the top represent the spirit of rugby by Gerald Lang. The Rowland Hill Memorial Gates were first unveiled in 1929 to remember the life of Sir George Rowland Hill, born 1855, died 1928, was an English sporting administrator, official and referee. He gave 49 years of service to the RFU. In 1927, he became the first person to be knighted for services to the sport of rugby union. He was secretary and later president of the Rugby Football Union. The Rose and Poppy Gates, to commemorate those who died in wartime, including 27 England players killed in World War I. The Golden Lion, presented on behalf of the Greater London Council to mark the century of the Rugby Football Union by Sir Desmond Plummer, leader of the council, 1972. We're about to enter the President's Suites, the most prestigious facility, playing host to royalty and VIP on match days. Has a really impressive look over the stadium.
These are all past presidents of the Rugby Football Union, going all the way back to 1871. because up until that point, believe it or not, there were no rules of rugby. So what used to happen, you'll remember, rugby union was a playground sport in those days. That's where it started, in rugby school. Yeah, so if anybody should know how the game should be played, it was this guy. But what he did, he actually enlisted the guy who was 2 pictures along, a guy by the name of Leonard Maton. He was also an ex-rugby school boy. They were mates, they knew each other. And Leonard Maton was the president of Wimbledon Rugby Club, which is my old rugby club. That's how I know this guy. And between the two of them, they wrote the very first rules of rugby. Unfortunately lost their life in the First World War. Okay. In total, England lost 27 internationals in the First World War. So, and we were not alone. All our countries lost lots of players. So. But I think why it's significant is because a couple of things. In the back row here, can you see far left, the guy with the scrum cap and his arms behind his back? That's Arthur Harrison. Now, Arthur Harrison was over in Zeebrugge in the First World War on a special operation. You can imagine what that is, and it was a very successful operation. But in carrying out his duties, unfortunately, he lost his life. But it was such a successful operation. He was very brave in carrying it out. He was awarded the Victoria Cross, which is the highest military honour in this country. And he is the only England player to have won the Victoria Cross, and that's why this portrait is here. But the other reason is because the guy in the middle of this portrait, sitting there with his arms folded, that's Ronnie Poulton. Now, he captained the England team at that time, and that's what he looked like. And I'll tell you more about Ronnie Poulton a bit later in the team. But he was reckoned to be the finest rugby player in the world at that time. Okay.
I was hoping they'd give me a pint of Guinness in here, but I was unsuccessful.
In 1893, okay, and this game is the Roses match. Anybody know what the Roses match is? Yorkshire, Lancashire, okay, thank you. And the emblem of Yorkshire rugby is white rose, thank you, and the emblem of Lancashire is the red rose. Now Yorkshire tell us, okay, and there's a caveat here, okay, it could be another Yorkshire tale, but with the museum has tried to verify this, right? But Yorkshire tell us that this is the game that decided the colour of the rose that England would wear on their shirts. Now, whether that's true or not, we cannot verify that, okay? So I'll just add that. But it's a cracking Yorkshire tale, isn't it? And then, why would Yorkshire commission a game that they lost? Because England wear the red rose of Lancashire on their shirts. Just airbrushed him out, portrait, as a punishment. So we've now got a ghost of a player. It was such a toxic subject in the 1890s. They just airbrushed this guy out of the portrait because he went on to play rugby league. Now, I mentioned a moment ago that when the two sides played, okay, the two captains agreed a set of rules. But then also, what used to happen when the game was in play, the two captains had to agree decisions. So, scrum down, line out, penalty, knock on, all those decisions, the two captains had to agree. Imagine how long a game would take now.
British Airways, official airline partner to England Rugby.
It's a VIP seating area. There probably royals sit here or famous people with lots of money, which I don't have. You get an amazing view of the pitch.
Later, and the reason for that was because the RFUs wanted to have a hotel built into the South Stand, and they were in negotiations with hotel chains and the Marriott Corporation at that time. It's the Radisson now, but at that time the Marriott Corporation won the contract, and we have a 156 roomed hotel built into the South Stand, and 6 of those rooms back onto the stadium. So if you look where it says Allianz Stadium right on the top, can you see just below there is glass all the way along, can you see that? Those are the 6 suites that you can hire on match days. If you can afford.
This is a place where memories are made, records are broken, and where trophies and spirits are lived.
And we now embark on a new chapter.
This union is more than just a word. It represents a shared commitment to the spirit of rugby.
More memories, more trophies, more excitement.
Allianz Stadium, where forward is
Ranging from 12 smallest box to 26 biggest box, and these are multinational corporations. They're leased on a 2-year or a 4-year lease, and we have a waiting list. So what tends to happen if you haven't got one of those suites, and you want to entertain 12 clients on match day here, what tends to happen is they not have one of those suites, Marriott and entertain 12 clients.
There are 2 figures that can be seen, one of which is a mythical and features Hermes, the fastest of the Greek gods known as Mercury to the Romans. He has passing the rugby ball to the player Kenneth Dalglish. A Scot was one who made the 1.9 metre high weather vane in 1950. This is the player's entranceway. The door in front of us is a medical suite. We're now entering England's changing rooms. Thankfully there was no one getting changed at the time. This is where England rugby players get changed for the game. I was very tempted to jump in the bath and have a relaxing bath while no one was looking, but I didn't think I would get away with it. This is a full list of England players who have played at the Twickenham Stadium. Referee changing area. This is where the media are based to interview players at the end of the match. We're about to go onto the pitch.
I'll never see Twickenham again. So what? 2018. It's Lewis Moody, ex-England back row. He's one of our legends, by the way, as well. Legends to us. Moved some earth from his grave and reburied it back here.
Rodney Poulton, skipper, one of the world's best players at the time, captained an unbeatable England team in the season before the outbreak of World War I. Poulton was killed on the Western Front by a sniper in 1915. His last words were reported to be, "I shall never play at Twickenham again."
11 o'clock at night, in this stadium, and we don't have any trouble. I think that's a major tribute to the rugby. We do get Come on. Just a year later, 1995, the West Stand was opened by the late Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Philip. That's their business model. It's a registered charity. So if you're a club and you want a new clubhouse or pitch or changing facilities, you can apply here.
You are now entering the museum, the most extensive collection of rugby football memorabilia in the world.